Hi, Dr. Daniela.
Hi.
Hi, let's talk about detoxification, which is one of our 7 key principles at Hope4Cancer treatment centers. This principle is imperative that patients understand and follow diligently, not only at the clinic, but when they go home, because it will speed up the recovery. We know, of course, that the environment, the planet has changed in the last number of years. Our water, soil, air, and food is polluted with things like toxic chemicals, environmental radiation, and many other things that are contributing to decreasing health and to the development and the progression of cancer, even increased metastatic activity.
Correct. And now on, since cancer is so common, 1 out of 15 people will have it. This is a topic that needs our attention.
Will have what?
Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer.
All right. This is not hearsay that, because a lot of these toxins we can't see, right? But there's plenty of science and studies on the effects of toxins in our health, which mainly starts at the cell level, the cell being the basic unit of life, and from cells we have tissues, organs, and then the system, the body. And so the toxin that's starting at the cell level eventually manifests itself as potentially cancer or other chronic disease at the body level.
Correct. And not just with humans, but even with animals. Since the 50s, they've been studying several animals, from eagles to fish, and they found out that environmental hormone toxins are part of their alterations on their procreation. So a lot of estrogens, due to the plastic exposure, it's causing them to reproduce less and less. So if that's causing to the animals, imagine to us as humans, right?
Yeah, because in my 25 plus years working in cancer therapy, we're seeing younger patients now with cancer,
Yes.
than we ever did before. So it's pushing that presentation of cancer to a younger age now. Let's talk a little bit about the ways that we can detoxify. As a functional medicine doctor, we focus a lot on the 7 channels of elimination. Let's discuss them a little bit.
Sure. The 7 channels of detoxification that we need to focus on are the skin. That's one of the main ones. Since the skin is one of our largest organs and it absorbs 10 times more than our digestive tract, then the skin needs to be stimulated.
So everything that goes on the skin is absorbed into the blood system and then eventually goes into the cells. So we have to be very careful what we put on our skin, on our hair, on our fingernails, on our lips. It was in a study, they said that a typical American female from the U.S. Uses about 75 pounds of toxins just by cosmetics a year. Probably men nowadays are pretty
men now
close
too.
to that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, lead is one of the main heavy metals that are in cosmetics, and we're not aware of that. But there's a lot of other chemicals that are there too, derived from petroleum or just gasoline, that we get into our lips, we consume every day without even noticing.
That's right. So then that's the channel of the skin. And the other channel, we could say, is the lung or the breath, right? How we're eliminating toxins, particular carbon dioxide from our body through our lungs. And then we have the kidneys or the urine, right, for elimination.
The kidney will be the filter that will help us to eliminate most of our waste product that's natural. But when we're not properly hydrated, then our kidneys will suffer. Mm-hmm. So that's another channel that we need to pay attention to.
And most of our patients are constipated because they're on pain medication, narcotics, and maybe medication that they took before coming to us, or having 1, sometimes 2 bowel movements a week, which is far below what we want for an optimal elimination.
The colon will be the other channel, as we mentioned, and the colon is just the organ that will reabsorb the water, and when we're not having good bowel movements, then it will reabsorb the toxins too. So they're going to be recirculating and increasing toxicity levels in our body.
And then the lymphatic system, right? The lymphatic system is a system that needs help because it has to do with our position, our movement,
Yes.
right?
Exercise.
Exercise.
Exercise every day if we can. But if we can't, because some people just say it's snowing outside, I can't go and exercise. At the house, they can use the rebounder, and that will increase the lymphatic movement so they can detox more. Or they can do dry brushing from your fingers to your core and from your toes to your core. That will stimulate the lymphatics as well.
And I always say that a negative thought can kill us faster than a bad germ. So detoxing our negative emotions and our thoughts, how important is that?
Extremely important. Mental health and wellness, it's the least that we pay attention to. And it's one of the most important factors when we come to negative vibes, negative energy, and it will turn out to be harmful for the body. We can see symptoms with that.
Yeah, the emotions are key, and then how they affect the other channel of elimination, which is the liver or the
Exactly.
metabolism.
Exactly. For Chinese medicine, the liver is associated to anger. So when I'm feeling this anger that I'm not able to express, then we can have less function of the liver, less detoxification.
This is nice how we're seeing that the 7 key principles work in synergy with each other, because if we have better oxygenation and we're breathing, we're also detoxing. But let's mention some of the key detox therapies or methods that we use at Hope4Cancer. One of my favorites is coffee enemas.
Everybody's favorite, right?
Yes, or not,
yeah.
right?
Or not.
But then after a while, they want even 2 a day because
Yes.
typically our patients have 1 or 2 coffee enemas a day based on their need.
And it's needed. Since the colon is such a powerful tool for detoxing, it can reabsorb water and it can reabsorb whatever we put in. So by applying coffee, the coffee will be reabsorbed by the portal vein system. It will go and stimulate the gallbladder and the liver. It will help to break those fat cells that could be there at the bile, excrete it through the bile, and then we can detox through the stools.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. And then we have also juicing, right? Because we have to remember that we can, through foods, in the sense of juicing, we could chelate and draw some of these toxins out.
Yes. The purpose of the juicing is to supply more nutrients to the patient that they can't get from food. It's very hard to get a lot of amounts of food to supply those cofactors that are needed for the liver. So with the juicing experience, because it's an experience, you can supply that to your liver, you can boost the liver detoxification process, and at the same time, it will decrease inflammation in the body.
Right. And one of the things we have to be careful with is making sure the juice products are organic, non-GMO, because then we're reintroducing other toxins
Correct.
into our body, right? So the first rule of detoxification is to avoid putting toxins in, because then you have more work in taking them out, right? Yeah.
And
So
overload.
what are some of the guidelines that you would tell your patients with respect to how to juice, what to be careful with?
Mainly, it's green leafy vegetables that we want to put into the juices. And if they were able to get wheatgrass is very good for detoxing too. They can add fruits, but I'm sure that the portions have to be very small, because when we have patients coming, they just make a blend of fruit and a little bit of greens.
Right.
There's a lot of sugar there, right? So mainly greens.
Okay. Another favorite method of detoxification, which we may mention that the skin is the biggest organ of elimination, is the near-infrared sauna. So with the near-infrared sauna, which has diverse properties, improving microcirculation, helping draw out toxins, it's something that even patients can continue at home after the clinic.
Yes. And this one, it's very specific on stimulating the heat in the body. And by stimulating the heat, you're stimulating the immune system, so we can have more white blood cells being produced by the body.
So now we're talking about detox method of near-infrared sauna, helping even the immune system, which is another key principle. So we're starting to see how the dynamic, the synergistic effect of our 7 key principles. And castor oil packs.
Castor oil packs, we can use them while they're doing the coffee enema, so they can stimulate the liver. They can apply them in the liver area while they're holding into the water and the coffee. Once they're ready to go and have the bowel movement, they can remove it, go do that, and that already absorbed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of the areas of detoxing that we should never forget is dental health, oral health, the dental toxins, which basically are 4, the root canals, which is a dead tooth, metal fillings that have usually composites of mercury, aluminum, tin, and many other metals oftentimes, and then cavitations, where there was a tooth, the tooth was extracted, the gum healed, but left a pocket or a cavity in there, and that's a haven for subacute infection that's taxing the immune system on a consistent basis. And one of the ones that we know is not attended to is the periodontal disease.
Yes, the inflammation of the gums. A lot of the times there's bacteria, specific bacteria that are accumulated there. They can stimulate an autoimmune reaction. There's an association between inflammation in the gums and heart problems. So the gums have to be very healthy too.
Yes. Ultimately, we're working very diligently on detoxing our cells, our tissues, our organs in our body. It's important also to consider that we have to make the home a healthy environment, a safe environment. What are some tips that patients can take home, literally and figuratively, to detoxify?
Yes. First, I think that they should make sure that there's no lead in the pipes, in the water, and in the puncture of the house. Second, the products that they use. A lot of the times we use products that are more toxic than actually beneficial for us. Even the carpet sometimes, or the filters from the air. So there's a lot of areas to focus on. If we're focusing on the food that we bring home, we have to focus on what we're wearing too. A lot of the body lotions, cosmetics, the mattress where we sleep, right? That has toxins too, or it could be made of products that are very toxic for our skin, and we spend there 8 hours each night.
Yes, and
Ideally.
the Wi-Fi at night, turn your Wi-Fi off, keep your cell phone away from your bed, and simple things that all make a difference, like what toothpaste you use.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of the toothpaste now, they have fluoride, and that will be against the thyroid function. So if you can buy one that it's without fluoride, that will make a difference.
Dr. Daniela, thank you for these words of wisdom. Detoxification being a key principle in our treatment philosophy of Hope4Cancer.
Yes.
We explain the importance of being compliant with what we externally introduce into our body and being proactive in detoxification on a daily basis, because it does compromise our health. It does challenge our recovery from cancer and any chronic disease. So a very important topic for us to be diligent about and know that it's real, it exists. There's plenty of science that backs up the effects of these toxins into our cells and our bodies, and we can slow down the cancer process. So important that each of us realizes that on a daily basis. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.